Welcome to the Transitional Changes Mission podcast show with your host, King Summers.
And your host, Queen Summers. Welcome. And tonight, we'll be speaking on how and why it's very important to acknowledge the person, not just in your home, but also in your community, and strengthen them by either helping or providing encouragement within your comfort zone. Having meaning in your life increases life satisfaction twice as much as well.
And how can you do that to another person? If they don't know body language, you got to speak on it. That's right. What this show is about. It's about speaking on your leadership. That's what I want to ask the audience to meditate about at the end of the show. Ask yourself, get some notes. Where do you stand in your leadership in all areas? So basically what I'm asking, who are you? And speak on it. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, explaining what our perceptive is about speaking on things, what does it mean into the reality, how can it influence and uplift the next person. So stay tuned with us, and we're going to dive right into this exciting episode, speaking on it. And thank you for tuning in to the Transitional Changes Mission podcast show. Thank you.
Welcome back to Transitional Changes Mission podcast show. This is your host, Queen Summers.
And your host, King Summers.
Now, helping others is the first step in making the world a better place and improving the lives of those who aren't as lucky as you. But it's also shown to bring about a wealth of benefits for those who choose to help, and might just be the key to happiness. Encouragement can provide people with strength to look ahead, move forward, and reach for the next goal. The whole emotional tone of a tough situation can be transformed through encouragement. Put another way, encouragement can help us do things that we might not ordinarily do.
Yes, it do. And do the positive things. Yes, hopefully, and we pray that this show can stop anybody that is having a thought process of any negativity that can do harm to another person or to Mother Earth. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the reasons why we're going about within this show, to influence and to hopefully pray to encourage anybody to pull out their inner strength to do what they want to do and to help us in our cause. And we're going to explain how everybody playing a part and how we came up through this process, where we had the imagination first and then we speak on it. And it was a whole process. And that's what I'm going to explain, how that process, give you examples of where we came from to where we are now.
And understand your biases, because we all have biases. That's not opinion. That's an unfortunate scientific fact. Without them, we would have too much information to process. That's just how your brain operates to make shortcuts. Decision-making process. And those biases influence how we act, react, see people, and judge value. Some people are self-aware enough to see how their bias paints a person or a situation. And with that, they can make logical and rational decisions, opposed to decisions fueled by undercurrents of emotional bias. For example, you adore your best friend and think she's a wonderful singer, even if you're aware that she sounds like a sick crow to literally everyone else. But unfortunately, most people aren't terribly self-aware. So what's that have to do with any of this? In order for favoritism to be illegal, you need to prove that the bias was against a protected characteristic, something like your age, gender, sexual orientation, religious beliefs. The problem with that is some groups just get along better. They work together better, they communicate better, they share the same beliefs, views on the world, values, whatever. And none of that make favoritism illegal. Even if they only get along better, because of legally protected characteristics, which leads me to ask, how do you think we can move ahead in a world of bias to be able to provide help and encouragement from the heart?
Yes, you are so right, Queen. What a great question. And that question is going to lead to me to explain through an example of us, Queen. As me and Queen stepped into our purpose, or better yet, how the Creator brought our purpose to us, was during the time that we was doing down. Yes, my family, we are trying to end family homelessness because me and Queen Summers at one point of our journey of the beginning of this, that's why we got experience in this, that's why we took it on. We ourselves was homeless, our whole family. And that's why at that time that we went through this process, there was a blessing through the Creator to bring that to us. Mm-hmm. The Creator brought us to see in a slow pace of how this process will come to be. For one, when that process was coming, we started getting imagination during this process of a journey of being down, which we consider being down anyhow.
Right.
But we got an imagination. How can we help families in a situation where we are in right now?
And King, we also experienced major biases during that process, because I can remember times when we was going to different landlords trying to fill out for leases, and it was like one thing after the next that prevented us from housing.
Yes. And so for anybody out there to say that have Queen Summers and King Summers went through the life college,
or how can you talk about something if you never went through it?
Yes.
Well, we're first to say we have been through it.
Yes. And so I said that to slow down this process, or how we came into our process, we are using ourselves as an example. So like I said, we was going through that process. We was homeless. Things started to change right before our eyes of the belief system to gain courage. And Queen Summers, which I would say that the Creator brought this beautiful queen to me to be by my side, to encourage me to do what the journey of the Creator was showing us.
Absolutely.
In fact, I had Queen Summers, we had families, we had all kind of support coming together to help us. Mm-hmm. So the number one sponsor was the Creator. The Creator was giving me these visions, and I was sitting there saying, how can I do it? All the way to now, to where it's a podcast show, where we formulated a nonprofit and just trying something that is extremely the first to be done.
Yeah.
And we have more episodes to talk about this process of how we're going to end family homelessness and bridge the gap of communication. The way that we are going about it, we are going to explore upcoming episodes, but I do believe it is going to be a challenge.
And if you are enjoying this show tonight, please visit us at www.transitionalchangesmission.wordpress.com, or you can write to us at tcmissionspeaks@gmail.com.
Like I said, we came up with this podcast show, and the Creator gave us this vision from the beginning to where we are now. All I was saying to say that to influence anybody that got a vision in their head, entrepreneur, to get shelter for their family, to get transportation, to feed the bellies of your family, protect your family. All these things are a process of imagination.
Right. And the core idea is that in a young age, we get affected and grown up according to certain standards. But it is ourselves who can change everything in our lives. It is so hard to find people who are truly satisfied with what they have. Everyone has something that others admire him or her for, but nobody is truly happy and satisfied overall. We always try to achieve and get more. There is no finishing line. Whenever we reach a milestone, the next thing is waiting to be solved and mastered. This circle is leading to less satisfaction in people. When you have less satisfaction in people, you get anger, you get stress, you get frustration.
Yes, you do.
And as long as you live, keep learning how to live.
And always keep the process known. Know that you are going through a process that can lead you to believe in yourself that I can do this, to lead to speaking on it. Because it's a process before you speak on it. And I would like to explain just the tip of the iceberg, which we have a show coming up about that, is energy. Things that comes out of your mouth goes not only to your friend. If you haven't had the trained eye, it goes into the energy of the cosmos. And we all know how big the cosmos is.
Oh, yes. It's infinite.
Yes.
It's infinite.
And it's time, all kind of things that is equivalent within the action of your words coming out your mouth and how they travel back for things to come true in the reality that you are living in, or at least that what you think you're living in. That's why the saying say, think before you speak. And thinking is a process. It's an imagination. It's all kind of factors within that. And Transitional Changes within this show, we are talking about that process of how before it gets to speaking on it. Mm-hmm. That is one of the first process things that is one of the most powerful things that will make what you're speaking on come true.
That's right. And if you see somebody or you're around somebody that's doing something that you know is not of you, that's not how you get down, that's not what you like to entertain yourself with, have the courage to encourage them to do what you like to do.
Speak on it.
Instead of following them and potentially ending up in a situation that could have been avoided altogether.
Speak on it.
And then help them if they don't understand why you're encouraging them to understand why the encouragement is necessary.
Got to speak on it.
Life is a constant chain of choices. Choose to be satisfied and happy. Happiness is a pure choice in life. You can always try to see the bright side and be satisfied. There will always be struggles and troubles in life, but you can choose if you let them affect you or if you take control over your life and your happiness. So I encourage everyone who has or knows a child in their family to teach them family history. When children know the stories of those who came before them, they have higher self-esteem and a sense of control over their own lives.
Yes.
When a child know where they came from, nobody in the environment, nobody off the street can walk up to them and tell them who they are because they know whom they are.
Yes, they do. To explain the powers of this podcast show is out of this world. I'm going to explain what the job that I have from the Creator. While you listen to the show, you don't know how much you are supporting Transitional Changes Mission podcast show with our mission. When the Creator gave us this job, it is unbelievable from the first listener listening to our podcast show. It showed us and gave us encouragement to keep going. At the beginning, I said, ain't nobody finna listen to us. But the Creator said, have the courage. Get the equipment. Get everything that is going to be handed to you. Because I spoke to the Creator and said, I want to help people. That was a process that I spoke out into the universe. And basically, I've been speaking about it all my life. Everybody will figure out their purpose through their journey.
Speak on it.
And when I speak on it with the Creator said, I already know. And here go the tools. Things that start falling together for us. And that's why I say through previous shows, you're going to end up enjoying the ride. And it will become unbelievable to where I can't thank every listener that's listening to our show right now, that will share our show, that will join us to end family homelessness, help communication to a point to where we can close that gap. It all starts with you. And we all need you for this mission. That's another thing the Creator told us. We need the support. And the only way that a person or anything can be changed in the world is becoming globally. That's why we started this podcast show to be global. Because once the globe get a touch of it, that's when things will actually start to change. And that's why I say again, we thank you for listening to our show. Please share us, like us, write to us at transitionalchangesmission.wordpress.com.
Or you can call us at 910-985-9090 and share with us how you feel. And who are you?
Yes. And so stay tuned with us as we come back and end in this first section and keep on speaking on it.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That we are finna become united and help Transitional Changes with this mission. You becoming the leader that you are.
And simple ways of how we can build each other up. Because it's going to take all of us. Not just one. Not just two. Not just five. But all of us.
So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Grab everything you need. We'll be right back with you with solutions. to the Transitional Changes Mission podcast show with your host, King Summers.
And your host, Queen Summers. I'm